Alright, so today I'm going to change what I'm doing a little bit here on YouTube, and rather than talking about uniform maintenance things, I'm going to talk about an essential class that, well, all cadets should really know this information, which is the Air Cadet ranks. So essentially, if you're in level 1 and you missed the class on Air Cadet ranks, or you don't really know some of the ranks, you're not too sure, and maybe you're going to summer training this summer, this class will certainly help you. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first rank that a cadet will receive when they join the Air Cadet program is the rank of cadet. Now, usually when cadets join, they're 12 years old, right? And this is the rank of cadet, pretty much, this is the epaulet for cadet. It's defined as an absence of anything on the epaulet or on the tunic. So there's actually no tunic badge when your rank is cadet, and on your epaulet there's actually no little insignia like a propeller or chevrons or anything like that. So after being in the Air Cadet program for 6 months, you will be promoted for your first time, and that promotion will be to the rank of LAC, which stands for Leading Air Cadet. So in LAC, you're in the program for 6 months when you receive your LAC. Usually you need to be regarded as a leader by your flight sergeant and obviously by the CO, and you need to demonstrate the fact that you are capable of teaching some cadets who just joined the squadron, so newcomers, the essential information that you've learned over the period of that 6 months. So after you're in the program for 1 year, you'll receive your second promotion, which will be to the rank, let me just change colors here, will be to the rank of Corporal. Corporal. And Corporal is defined as 2 chevrons. Now, remember, in the Canadian Air Cadet programs, the chevrons always point down. You may have seen some movies where American chevrons or something like that will point upwards. Just remember that in Canada, the chevrons point down. So there's the rank of Corporal, which is 2 chevrons. Now, the interesting thing about Corporal is that it's the first, excuse my writing here, NCM rank. Now, what does NCM stand for? Well, NCM stands for non-commissioned member. So what that basically means is that Corporal will be the first rank where you'll be given leadership roles, theoretically, within the squadron. So you may be assigned to duty corporal for a night where you need to make phone calls to cadets who aren't present, asked, I don't know, why they're here. So you'll receive the promotion to corporal after, usually after 1 year of cadets, and you need to complete proficiency level 1 and have the rank of LAC for 6 months. You can't go directly from cadet to corporal. That's a no-no. You can't do that. So you need to have an LAC for a period of 6 months before you can be a corporal. So after that, your next rank will be you will be theoretically promoted 1 year after your promotion to corporal, and that will be to the rank of flight corporal. Flight corporal. So flight corporal, what does it look like? Well, flight corporal is this badge down here, and it's pretty much similar to corporal, except you notice that there's an addition of a crown on the top, and this is actually called the St. Edward's, St. Edward's crown. Now, the St. Edward's crown, you should probably do some read up on that. It's pretty interesting. If you notice here, this epaulet for flight corporal is a little bit messed up. It's bigger than the others, and it should say cadet at the bottom. I'm not too sure why that is, but in reality, they're all the same size, and they all say cadet at the bottom. But flight corporal, well, what's your job as a flight corporal? Well, your job is to lead corporals. So after you, when you're a flight corporal, you will have been in the squadron for 2 years. The required level to be a flight corporal is completion of level 2. So by the time you're a flight corporal, you will have been in the squadron for theoretically a period of 2 years, and you will provide leadership information down to corporals. Now, there's also some parade positions that may be affiliated with the rank of flight corporal. You could be a flag bearer if you're in the flag party, or you could be a 2IC of a flight. Not usually a flight commander at this point, but there will definitely be leadership roles at the rank of flight corporal. Also, when you go to a cadet summer training center, so at CTSC, that's CSTC, so at a cadet summer training center, what happens with staff cadets there is they actually have to apply for their ranks. So flight corporal is actually the lowest rank that a staff cadet will receive is flight corporal, and usually these are affiliated with jobs such as maintenance or fitness. The fitness staff cadets will have the rank of flight corporal, and essentially those staff cadets that aren't really in charge of a flight but don't have the higher end leadership roles that we'll get to later. So that's the rank of flight corporal. So after you're in the cadet squadron for 3 years, you will be eventually promoted to the rank of sergeant. Sergeant. Now watch the spelling there. It's spelt like that, very specific. Remember, there's an A there. And the difference between sergeant and flight corporal is the fact that we've taken away the St. Edward's crown and we've replaced it with a chevron. So the nice thing about sergeant is that it's the first senior rank. Now, what do I mean by the first senior rank? Well, if you notice here, all of these ranks are the junior ranks, so the first half. Let's draw a line between there. And the second half here, these are the junior ranks, and these are the senior ranks. So once you're a senior rank, you are in charge of leadership roles. Now, you have to understand that even though it looks like that doesn't really make sense, half of a squadron is the junior ranks and half of the senior rank and half are the senior ranks. But how can half of the cadets be teachers? Well, even though these are half of the ranks and half of the ranks can be teachers, you have to understand that not more cadets are in this area down here, the junior cadets, than the senior cadets. So even though there's the same number of ranks, the amount of people that are represented by these ranks are different. So sorry, I forgot to change colors here. Let's change color. So what does this mean to be a sergeant? Well, usually you're a flight commander. This is the first rank where you will usually see flight commanders, generally of smaller flights, flag party, or maybe the band if you're a drum major. And you're regarded as the first senior rank. You're given many leadership opportunities, and in order to be promoted to sergeant, you will have to have completed proficiency level 3. Now, in order for you to also gain the rank of sergeant, like all the other ranks, there has to be a minimum period of 6 months between promotions. So even though you could be fast-tracked really quickly to level 2, you still need to have that 6 months promotion between corporal or flight corporal of flight corporal to sergeant. So you can't be directly promoted again from cadet to sergeant, even if you're older. So the next rank that I'd like to talk about quickly here is the rank of flight sergeant. Flight sergeant. So if you're a flight sergeant, you can see the differences. We've added that St. Edward's crown back onto the sergeant rank like we did from corporal to flight corporal. And in order to get a flight sergeant, you'll have to have completed proficiency level 4. So you have to have completed proficiency level 4, again 6 months between sergeant and flight sergeant as usual. And you also, most of the promotions up to this point have been timed promotions, so they're heavily based on time. Flight sergeant is the first rank where also you have to demonstrate leadership capabilities. So what does that really mean? Well, even though all these promotions up to this point have been timed promotions, essentially what officers will do is they will look at your teaching abilities and leadership abilities, and they will make sure that you are the right person to be promoted to flight sergeant. Now, flight sergeant are flight commanders, hence the name. So if you're a flight sergeant, you are generally a flight commander, and you will have potentially parade positions. So even though you as a flight sergeant aren't technically called ma'am or sir like the warrant officers, junior cadets will refer to you as flight sergeant, you could have a position such as SWO, which is squadron warrant officer, or squadron deputy commander in smaller squadrons. But we'll talk about those maybe in a future video. So flight sergeant, a senior rank, but not as senior as the next warrant officer ranks, which are these. Now the next rank is actually warrant officer second class. I'm not going to write out the full name because, as you can see, I'm running out of space here, but warrant officer second class is the first sort of officer cadet sort of rank. You're not an officer, don't get me wrong here, you're still a cadet, but cadets will refer to you as ma'am or sir. So essentially what that means is that in order to get these ranks, of course there's that 6 months between flight sergeant until you can, sorry, that's awful handwriting, but there's 6 months between flight sergeant and warrant officer second class, of course, but the difference is to obtain warrant officer second class, you need to apply for the rank in a review board process. So there'll be a panel of, I've never gone through this experience personally, I'm a sergeant, but there'll be a panel assessing your qualities, and they will define whether or not a rank of WO2 is a suitable position for you. So as a warrant officer second class, you could be you will have the senior parade position. So these positions mainly here that we talked about before, you could be squadron warrant officer or squadron deputy commander, more so down here. And yeah, of course, squadron warrant officer, that would make sense. But remember, we talked that a flight sergeant could be a squadron warrant officer as well. So essentially, when you're a WO2, you are pretty much the main leadership element of the squadron. You are directly in contact with the officers of the squadron to relay information to more junior cadets through flight sergeants, sergeants, corporals. And warrant officer second class is also the highest rank. Now, be careful here. When I say highest rank, in small squadrons. So a small squadron pretty much is defined as maybe a squadron with under 30 people. This squadron is too small to have the next promotion, which is warrant officer first class. It's too small for a cadet to have this rank, so WO2 would become the highest rank. But of course, remember, there's the next rank, which I made allusions towards, which is warrant officer first class. Warrant officer first class. So warrant officer first class, essentially you have many of the leadership roles defined as warrant officer second class, but now you have the highest rank that any Canadian Air Cadet can have, and in every squadron there can only be one warrant officer first class. That's the key here. Only one of them. So you're pretty much the cadet commander of your unit, your squadron. So if you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. Also comment future video suggestions if you have any. And thank you for watching.